Are you ready for the preliminary fucking finals?
Dogs are playing.
Yeah, they are. Preliminary drop kicks that they are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Back Yourself podcast. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce you to the set of this podcast. Hussein here with my brother from another mother, Christopher. There's not that much time to fuck around. Actually, there's plenty of time because ins and outs is going to take half the time as it normally does.
And also, I mean, the second game, like... Did you hear everyone got a fine in that Dogs game? Not one player got suspended. It's fascinating.
Yeah, Penrith were involved. Why would you suspend any of their players?
Yeah.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to fuck around with you guys. Give us a like, give us a comment, and a subscribe to show some support for this podcast. How many episodes have we done this year, Chris? Probably 60?
60?
If not more than that. Week in, week out, we rock up for your entertainment, which you guys did seem very entertained at our blow-ups. But there's nothing to blow up about this round because we've got 4 quality sides, and what I'm hoping is going to end up being 2 quality games of footy. The bookmakers think one game will be closer than the other, but in my opinion, Chris, the public perception of the world has these games about equal in terms of how many people are tipping the underdog in both games. Cunts have belief in these fucks after 6 years of not giving a shit about them. And
yeah, that's
you
fine.
know, I feel like the bookies are not really giving them that much of a fucking respect that they have earned, but we can get to them shortly. How are you feeling about the top 4 that are left in this competition, which is pretty much who we said would be here come this time of year in the season preview?
The only team
Manly.
that it was Manly, but you know
They had a good run.
They did it. They had a bunch of injuries, but that doesn't
They had a bunch of
excuse
idiots
a bunch of idiots as well, and the whole Cherry Evans drama. But 4 of the 6 teams I said at the start of the year are just above everyone else. They're all 4 of them are here, so it's going to set up a good finals. And I actually think I thought I wouldn't, but I actually like both matchups. I rather these matchups than the other way around. The Brisbane are going to Sharks are going to Brisbane, and well, Melbourne Penrith would be great, but Sharks Brisbane just wouldn't be as fun.
So switch it the other way. What if it was Sharks going to
Brisbane? Who cares?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, who cares? I feel like we get a grand final teaser, especially that it's on a Sunday and it's the second game, they would know who they're playing in the grand final. So we get the beauty of, I would say, and I'll say it later, the beauty is we get 2 grand finals in a row.
Essentially, yeah.
I would say whoever wins that game, like it's going to be a great game regardless of what happens that second game. If you think the first one's going to be a blowout, which we'll get to our analysis of it later, the second one is not going to be, regardless. I don't think anyone's going to say, oh yeah, Penrith's just going to kill them, because that won't happen. And it's Brisbane because they can just score. And then obviously the grand final a week later. So the other thing is, this is the 3rd last podcast of the year. Well, we will have the season review.
The season review
is a 5-hour job. So especially with some of these teams, I don't even know how we review. I have to go study nights again.
I'm going to go through every single individual game played by South this year and come up with a formula.
How long is going to be the season review? Do you have to go through all the Dogs players? Everyone that played?
The whole squad, yeah. And coaching staff, physios, you name it. But genuinely, before we get there,
we have to get through the wall.
For some reason, and I don't know why I have this psychology, but once it gets to grand final day, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just like mentally checked out of the year. Probably because Penrith's been there 5 times in a row. But as far as the preliminary finals go, I'm horny for these games. It's a great fucking
look,
matchup.
if it's Melbourne Brisbane, I think.
And for the real ones, you know, we've had a little bit more of a developed audience this year, and there's some usual suspects in the comment section. But shout out to you, especially Matt, who's been there with us from day one, and everyone that followed us last year. I would say last prelims of 2024 was up there as the torture of the decade for us.
It was the funniest review of all time.
Setting the Roosters' flag on fire obviously made headlines across the world. But me coming on and campaigning that how can you put Sharks v Penrith and Roosters v Melbourne both at 12.5-point underdogs in prelims with a grand final spot on the line? What does this sport come to? And immediately both of them gave up. So what I'm hoping for, and you know the lines are sharper this time round, it's perceived to be a closer contest. I just hope for 2 great games of footy, and truly, outside of Penrith, I don't give a fuck who wins this weekend. But I guess that transitions us well into Friday night football, where the Melbourne Storm, after 14 days off, after dismantling the existence of Bulldogs, take on the red-hot Cronulla Sharks, which have really sent a shockwave through this competition, when really most were ready to put a pen through them.
But we put a pen through them.
We can never put
the
them ink's
away
never dry
Sharks,
for us when it comes to Cronulla because we like them. But
that's true.
Obviously, we also do like Melbourne as well, and we genuinely come on every week and be like, these cunts don't give a fuck. But if there's ever a game to give a fuck, it's right now, because I don't think, say what you want about Cronulla's chances, I really don't think Melbourne can take this side lightly. And that is evidence in the team list for the changes that Craig Bellamy has made. Huge inclusions from the Storm with halfback Jerome Hughes returning from a fractured forearm, Brian Pappenhausen returning from a concussion, and Sean Bloor returning from a broken throat. All back on deck as Sean Bloor comes off the bench in this one, which sees Lasati continuing to start. Wishart retains his spot on the bench with Kamakamika and Alec McDonald. On the Cronulla side of things, pretty much 1-17, except Tom Hazelton, after his nasty head clash with Tom Starling last week, is ruled out with the 11-day concussion protocols, which sees a pod favourite return, Oregon Kaufusi.
I partied with Oregon.
Yeah, he partied with him. Yeah. So he is back. And you know what? I think Craig Fitzgibbon said that he's been a little carrying some niggles. Otherwise, he would have been there last week anyway. So I'm going to call the Sharks 1-17. And Melbourne 1-16.5, I'm going to call it, because one of their players truly shouldn't be out there. But before I start my rant on that, we have Sharkies going to Melbourne with an 8.5 point spread after Melbourne have their bye. Didn't look so convincing against the Bullfrogs, who fucking has made everybody else look convincing. Let's call it what it is. How are you feeling about your Cronulla Sharks, acknowledging that you're riding them as a Quinella ticket with the Penrith Panthers?
This is the most crucial game of the Quinella ticket. I think a lot of people... I mean, I don't know if a lot of you guys also follow us on Instagram.
If you don't wake up.
Yeah, exactly. It actually wasn't... The most voted was cash out. I think there was a few of us that there was a few messages, like DMs, that said, oh, why would you cash out? Just ride it. But if you actually look at the votes, the most was cash out. I think I've convinced myself that I have to go through one more game.
Yeah.
And the reason for it is because it is only one game. Essentially, if I do get through Cronulla, it's a win-win situation. I will back Brisbane. And if Penrith win as favourites, so be it. I'll win the Quinella. If Brisbane win as underdogs. And the beauty of it, there is a small chance between 1 and 2 exactly that if Penrith win by 1, it will be the most perfect result, even though it will be torture for us to come on and discuss it. But in terms of financial benefit, it will be the best for them to win by 1.
I'll personally pay your winnings out to not see these cunts win by 1.
Yeah, of course. We would want to see Brisbane win, and likely I will take someone head-to-head because it's just a better price. But it comes down to this game. Now, let's just take away the financial factor. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of bias. I'm going to want Cronulla to win this game. Just purely numbers based, I cannot lay 8 against the hottest team in the competition right now. JB, Jeremy, shout out to you guys in the comments. And I know JB's not going to be happy. It is what it is. I think Melbourne might win, but to expect them to win by double digits against the Cronulla side, which are a team that hasn't played like this in the finals ever, defensively playing out of their minds, and against any type of offense at the moment. At this moment in time, they haven't played Melbourne, which we would say when trying are the best offense in the comp, like without a doubt. But they've played Mark and Tupou, which they literally stopped completely. Like, for a team that has Sione Katoa on one of their wings, they couldn't kick to Tupou, which is almost... I don't know how that's not possible, but anyway.
They stopped him to such an extent that Marky Mark's gone back to use.
Yeah, exactly. So they couldn't get through them. And this Raiders side, yes, Strange didn't play, but the amount of ball Raiders had throughout that game, you'd expect them to score a lot more than 12. But they couldn't. And if you go back to the last game of the season, Dogs scored 6 off an intercept. Their defense is playing out of their mind. Offensively, Trindle is running the whole show. And I think, one thing that, logically, just thinking about it on the Cronulla side, is the better edge for Cronulla is the left side. And our concern, and you'll get to it in a second, is the Melbourne right edge. And with Hughes being banged up, JB will really like this one. Eli Katoa has to be fucking brilliant, basically. He can't make one mistake on that edge, because if Hughes gets 1-on-1 with one of these fucking Mack truck airbags, he's going to die. And I'm talking about Adam Fanua-Blake, Hamlin Luele, Talakai. He needs support. And I know it's possible. We watched Cooper Cronk go out there with no shoulder and play and be able to serviceable. And Hughes' injury isn't that. But they're going to just have to prepare for it. Now, if they prepare for it, is there going to be gaps other places of the field? Who knows? Can Hynes do something about it? Who knows? This Cronulla side, in a final scenario, in this exact spot, are often not great. And they always get to this point and essentially just get blown out of the water. Last year is a good example of it against Penrith. But Cronulla, going into this particular prelim final, have not played this great ever. They've always been, okay, we made a prelim, but we actually played like us, like last year. Or we didn't even make the fucking prelim and just get knocked down in straight sets. So I think right now, the best Cronulla team is going to be on show, and I don't think we can lay 10 points. There's no pressure on them at all. They're playing the team that is favourites to win the competition right now. Maybe not by much, but they are. And I just think they're going to be able to continue, at least keep this game close. If I was no bias, I would say Melbourne win this game by 4 in a close one. If I was biased, I'd say Cronulla are going to continue riding their high and ride all the way to the grand final. Will they win the grand final? Who knows? I don't give a fuck at that point. Unless Penrith's on the other side, then I would give a fuck because I would want Cronulla to win. But this team, like I've said a million times, we had them first in the regular season. We expected them to be in the prelim, and now they're in the prelim in a scenario that they're playing their best footy. So I'll happily take Cronulla with the points. I can't lay 8 and expect Melbourne to win by 10. Off a bye with the Hughes injury, and we don't know what we're going to get out of Melbourne, and we know for sure what we're going to get out of Cronulla. Melbourne could blow them out of the water, and I could be completely wrong, but the way Cronulla are playing, I just can't see that happening. They'll lose this game close if they do lose.
What would you have the point spread for this game?
6. I think they deserve 6. That's it. 8 is just a big respect for Melbourne, and
it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy line.
I get it, but I think you mentioned this, and I don't want to go back to it because we did cover that game. They realistically only beat Dogs by 2.
But that was without.
But without Hughes and Pappy, of course.
And
but right now, and we've seen Dogs
and Blore and Howarth. So it's like fuck.
We've seen Dogs Dogs versus Cronulla the week before the finals, and Cronulla beat them essentially 24-0. So we're talking about a much better team. And even from that performance that they played against Dogs, they've been playing better than what they were that day anyway. They didn't even try against Dogs.
Well, you don't have to try at this point. Shout out, Matt. So I think it's the right respect for Melbourne. I'm not saying Sharks should be favourite, but I'll take the points with me for sure on this game. I'm very torn in this game, Chris. On paper and my gut instinct reaction,
is Melbourne gonna
when I look at the point spread is
that it
8.5? Holy fuck!
This is the PTSD of last year. I know.
And this is after Sharks have actually played gun 3 weeks in a row. Where I'm going to get to the other side of the draw in a second, where it seems like to me a lot has been put into Penrith's impressive win last week for them to go and. I mean, Ezra got named today, and this is almost 4.5 for God's sake. Instead of it going the other way,
$2.30,
which is insane.
What the fuck's going on?
Right? So in my eyes, it's like, wow, look how good Penrith played. Let's shorten them up. But on the other side, it actually doesn't look like the bookies have done that with Sharks at all. These cunts beat Dogs, beat Roosters, who everyone thought were gods, beat Raiders, who everyone thought were gods, convincingly. And it's like, oh, okay, well, they're going to Melbourne, so we'll just default it at 9.5. It's
correct.
Pretty crazy when you think about it and how good Cronulla has been playing. What do I think of the changes? Obviously, Pappy being back, Meany, he can't hold a candle to Pappy.
That's fine.
And Pappy's shown that he's a big game player, and in these sort of fixtures, he does have game-breaking sort of moments that can really put a dagger into sides in a very quick succession of events happening. I've been saying Howard's been an important player for a long time. He's back, which helps as well. Lasati, I think he probably won't end up starting on game day. Blore's been fantastic on the left edge the entire season. And it's been a while since we've seen Melbourne full strength, but they are full strength now, which...
This is the best...
It's scary. It's scary that what these cunts are capable of when everyone's out there. Now we get to Jerome Hughes, who's dislocated his shoulder 6 weeks ago. Ran out there 4 weeks ago to try against Brisbane for no reason. And I came on the review saying that regardless of this guy actually fracturing his arm or not, he looked like he was in two minds making tackles. And Brisbane made a very concerted effort to be running Payne Haas at him, to be running Pat Carrigan at him, to be running their like bigger bodies towards his direction. And I didn't see Hughes win a single tackle in that game. He was like just hanging on for dear life, looking like he was protecting himself to a lot of extent. And how can you blame him, right? You dislocate your shoulder. Craig Bellamy said it took an hour and a half for them to actually put his shoulder back into his own fucking socket. And now he's expected to run out there and tackle this, like you said, the Mack trucks coming on for Cronulla off the bench, and including, I
didn't even add Nakora as well.
How good Nakora's been playing, Ero's been playing, Teague Wilton, who can run a line like the best of them.
Trindle, like it's all on that side.
In my opinion, I think Melbourne have rushed him back, obviously because this is a win and go into the grand final situation, and they always think our best chance of winning is with Hughes. I would argue for this particular game, I would rest Hughes, not because, I think we can beat Cronulla anyway, who gives a fuck, because obviously Sharks deserve enough respect. I would rest Hughes because I actually think they're more likely to win if Peasant plays. Because truly, the way Hughes was looking to start that Brisbane game, I was like, this guy literally can't tackle.
I disagree.
And on that Sharkies left edge, like, everything is refined when it comes to finals time, right? Like, Dogs couldn't defend air. They got exposed in 2 seconds. Roosters, their goal line div was fucking pitiful for no reason as well. That got exposed. Raiders, one team, like, shows the blueprint, everyone follows it, and then that team just can't fucking, like, fix it at all, right? We saw, like, Raiders defend like dirt in the Broncos game. The whole week we were like, oh, okay, like, their right edge looks shaky. And if anything, it looked even worse in the Sharks game. Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, going into this game, you have an edge of Munster and Coates and all these sort of players, which there's no reason to attack that side. Melbourne generally are always good defensively on the left side. Are you just inviting a situation where maybe Hughes is out there? How well can he even play on offense with one arm, really, let alone defensively? I feel like it just opens up the gates for problems that Melbourne don't really need. Honestly, I think they are more likely to win with Peasant, and then that gives Hughesy 7 more days. Like, he's literally had surgery on a broken bone 2 weeks ago. How the fuck can you run out there and play a preliminary final? Shout out to Hughes if he's going to run out there and play. That's like...
He will play.
These players are so fucking tough. I genuinely think the rugby league players are probably the toughest athletes in the world. This is insane, but in my opinion, it's actually in Melbourne's best interest to rest him one more round. I don't know if I'll get hate for that take, but I don't think
they'll make it to the grand final.
I disagree. So anyway, I think he's there. Let's say he's 70% ready to go. We'll have to analyze the game as is. Do I think the Sharks can go there and ride this hot streak and win? No. It's over, boys. I'm sorry. You had a fucking fairy tale. You had a fairy tale run. We fucking enjoyed it more than anyone in Australia, probably while it was going on, but it's a big step up in class, boys, and they are playing well and they're doing things good, but I don't think they're ready for what's coming for them on Friday night. And it's a very different situation that Melbourne played a dog side that, you know what, Melbourne didn't even give a fuck about that game. Played like dirt anyway and won. And now get 2 weeks off, sitting in the comfort of their own bed, sitting in the comfort of their own homes to game prep and plan for this Sharkies team, whereas Sharkies played a fucking riveting physical contest against Roosters, backed it up 7 days later, played a riveting physical contest against Raiders, now have to come back from Canberra, go to Cronulla, rest for a day, train for 2 days, and then fly out to Melbourne and play them on Friday on a 6-day turnaround. I feel like the Sharks have hung their hat on goal line D, and they genuinely, in my opinion, and maybe you'll disagree because you really like the Sharks forward pack, they genuinely have lost the forwards in the last 2 weeks. And the only thing that's kept these cunts in the game is their goal line defense, the Roosters' stupidity and errors, and Raiders just giving up when it got too hard for them. I know Melbourne's not going to just let Billy Burns walk into their try line. I know Melbourne's not going to go and knock the ball on 26 times like Roosters did every time they get good ball. And from what I've been seeing from Sharks in the middle of the park, their inability to make meters, even though they have the personnel for it, which is strange, I feel like it's going to catch up with them in this game. And this is not an opposition that you can just hand fucking 65% of possession to for large stretches of this game and walk away with only 4 points on the scoreboard. Harry Grant, Munster, Pappy, Hughes or what's left of him, and Coates, Howarth, these players on the edges, like I genuinely don't see an advantage anywhere for Sharks. Maybe their forwards are on paper better than Melbourne's ones, but
No.
I feel like it's offset because of how much rest Melbourne have had in the last 2 weeks and probably the fatigue the Sharkies will carry into this game.
I disagree with the forward. They win the forwards. I mean, okay, actually, you said this, so I'm going to just go back on your take.
Melbourne's forwards suck.
Yeah,
I know.
And Cronulla has just played the best 2 forward packs in the comp and won both games.
Yeah, no, but
I mean,
I think they lost in the middle of the park to both of those sides.
it doesn't matter. They get over. I mean, are they scoring through the middle? I think Cronulla have played 2 good games based on defense, but they have given both teams a lot of ball for their own stupidity. If they don't do that, they win the forwards. And when they do actually hold possession, they win the forwards. I think where the biggest weakness, where Melbourne can be attacked, is not going to be the outside backs, because last week it was, because Raiders outside backs, Tamale is, he's a rookie. Seb Chris is not that good anyway. Timoko's just dropped off since that one season, and Jed Stewart, we saw him fucking play, is another rookie. But you're talking about a Melbourne backline. Warbrick, Coates, Howarth, Meany, experienced finals footy players. They'll know how to stop this Cronulla backline. But are their forwards a match to the Cronulla forward pack? Okay, you may say they didn't dominate Roosters, who probably have more rep players than any other team in the fucking comp in their forward pack. And they didn't dominate Raiders, which I said from day one, they have the best forward pack in the comp. But you look at the Melbourne pack without Nelson, okay, like, are we really going to sit there and go, okay, Adam Fanua-Blake isn't the best forward on the field? He is. Is Brayley matchable with Grant? He ain't no Grant, but he's been playing great form. I think Cronulla's spot that they can actually win the game is pump it through the fucking middle of the park. I think Hughes is... A lot of people will say, oh, it's simple. It's just fucking English. Just run that at Hughes. I actually don't think that's what they should do. Just fucking keep going through the middle, boys. I actually think they'll just fall apart through the middle if they're going to lose this game. Because the Cronulla forward pack, as much as their names haven't been playing to the level that they should be, they can get to that level. And if they do, Melbourne aren't stopping them through the middle. Liero, fucking McDonald and McDonald's going to be on when fucking Talakai and shit are going to be on the field. Like, it's just a complete mismatch through the middle of the park, in my opinion. And that's where Cronulla will win the game if they are able to roll through the forwards. Hughes will be protected, and I feel like that's going to be the bigger part for me, is that they don't want to leave him one-on-one with anyone, and I completely agree with that. You can't have him one-on-one with these Sharks forwards, but that's where there's gaps elsewhere. Are Cronulla good enough to open those gaps up? That's where the game will be won or lost, in my opinion. If they can get one-on-one with Fanua-Blake on fucking McDonald or some shit, it doesn't matter if he's Hughes or McDonald, he ain't tackling Fanua-Blake. So it's just shit like that that will open up because, well, you have to protect Hughes. And I don't think they go through if Hughes isn't there. They need him on offense. They need him to be able to distribute on that right, their edge, and essentially get it back to the left side. The left side is where the points will be. Cronulla, fucking Ramian, even last week, shooting out of the line for no reason, was one of the 2 tries they conceded. So he needs to fucking wake up. But that's where they're vulnerable, Cronulla, on that right side, their right side of the field, because that's where Melbourne will attack and kick to Coates, etc. Like, that sort of shit is where they're going to concede. But I think Cronulla's advantage is through the middle of the park, for sure.
Even in the case that I'm going to entertain for this hypothetical that the Sharks forward pack, in this instance, off a 6-day turnaround versus a 2-week turnaround, starting fucking Calhoun in Melbourne, I'll even give you a slight edge in the forwards to Cronulla for the sake of argument. But, like you said, Brayley, as good as he is no Grant.
No, he's not.
Kennedy, as good as he is no Pappy.
No.
Nicho, as good as he is no fucking Hughes.
No.
And Trindle, as good as he is nowhere near no Munster.
No. I agree.
At the end of the day, am I going to do my tip on the Sharks for a slight fucking edge in the forwards, which Raiders had the edge in the forwards last week, but they got fucking blown off the park even though they won the forwards. Roosters had the edge in the forwards 2 weeks ago, and even though they won the forwards again, they got fucking blown off the park anyway. I don't think winning the forwards is as important as it used to be in this garbage sport, because momentum ebbs and flows and swings, and what really matters at the end of the day is, can you fucking make meters through like your back line, and do you have a good kicking game? And once you get down there, can you score? For the sake of the last 2 weeks, Roosters can't say they could go down there and score, and neither could Raiders, and that's a testament to Cronulla. A lot of other teams wouldn't hold these
seem
two
so low.
morons
I
to
agree.
what 4 points, 10 points, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck they did, and that's why Sharks are going into this game as live fucking underdogs. If Sharks won in Canberra last week 26-24, I don't think anyone would be like these cunts have a chance in Melbourne, right? So it's no disrespect to the Sharkies, but I've seen like what Melbourne is capable of at their pinnacle, and once they get like on that freight train run, I feel like there's going to be a burst in the balloon of Cronulla at some point. Will that mean that they lose by 4, like you said? That's possible. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Melbourne's going to win by 30, Sharks are nothing, because, you know, Sharks, as I've mentioned, they've garnered that respect from us. But can Sharks go there and really win those big moments against these sort of big game players like Grant, Munster, Pappy, that have done it year after year after year? You could honestly make a similar fucking case in the next game as well, and that's why at the end of the day, for the last 4 or 5 years, it's just been Melbourne and Penrith, Melbourne and Penrith, Melbourne and Penrith. Yeah. Occasionally, someone comes along like fucking Brisbane in 23, where
they're possessed.
Like when you have Farnworth and Staggs as your centers, and you have fucking Walsh at the back and all the forwards that they had, like you're gonna,
you have to.
You're gonna make a grand final and fuck around and almost win it, right? But outside of that, it's who has the better spine, who has the most experienced spine, and how did they perform under pressure? Am I confident enough in Confidence Boy to now be like, he can go to Melbourne and win, where in a semi-final situation, I haven't seen that he can go and slay that big of a dragon yet. Can he beat fucking Roosters? Yeah, of course. Can he beat Raiders with no players and fucking whatever?
Sure. Raiders were the beast. They were first, were they not?
No.
I mean, they were, and
No.
I think everywhere else outside of the spine.
There's two beasts in this competition.
I agree. It's those two. But obviously, I just made the Raiders point to piss off the Raiders fan. Fuck you, cunts. But I agree with everything. Is that spine 8 points better than Sharks' spine? I don't think it is.
I don't think it was 8 points or 10 points or 12 points better last year, but these cunts lost both games 30 plus.
I agree, but I don't think Cronulla, the rest of the team, has not been playing that well. Trindle was not that good this last year. Neither was Hynes. Neither was Brayley. Neither was Kennedy. Kennedy was amazing against Raiders. Like, I don't think that spine is 8 points worse than this Melbourne spine, and I think everywhere else on the park
it's relatively even.
It's relatively even. So if you think they're just, okay, they've got the best, which they do. I'm not saying that Cronulla's spine's even close, but I just don't think they're 8 points better than them. And right now, I'll take the form side. As much as they don't have the big names, Grant, Munster, Hughes, and Pappy, they've been playing out of their minds, and all of them have had a spectacular season. Brayley almost cracked the New South Wales team. Kennedy's literally playing like fucking
Billy Slater
at fullback. Trindle's $1 million half, and Hynes is the inferior half, but we know how good Hynes can be in his moments, and he was great in that first half against Raiders. So I don't think they're 8 points worse than Melbourne, and I think everywhere else is the same. So I accept that they will probably lose, but I can't expect Melbourne to win by 10. I just don't think their spine is that much better that I'm just going to brush away Cronulla's spine.
That's fair. And you know what? If I was arguing on behalf of the Sharkies, like, this is probably the situation that intrinsically they're going in with the most hope that they have had.
They have so much confidence.
And I don't see like Cronulla getting rattled if they go down 6-0, 10-0 early. Like, whereas in previous years they would have been like, fuck, it's happening again. But I feel like it will be a tight contest for like 55 to 65 minutes. But Melbourne, once they like get on a roll, and it's just fucking impossible to stop. And as good as Cronulla's goal line D has been, the fact that they're constantly inviting opposition to their 20 time and time again, like, if that happens again, I just don't think they have enough resolve to hold it out to Melbourne. So, to be honest, of both of the games this weekend, I'm more excited for this one because I really want to find out what Sharkies have in the tank. And I'm probably on an island there because everyone else is going to fucking...
I want war.
Pray for the demise of these pricks, or pray for the demise of me. If you've been watching this podcast, you know how I feel about them. But I can confirm there is toilet water in here, and that is the best transition over to Sunday afternoon footy. What a show this is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel about the fact that this is at 4 p.m. on Sunday?
I don't even think this is a show. This is something that would show
the unofficial grand final.
This is a war. I was explaining to my mum before what I want Brisbane to do to Penrith. And she was like, "It's not." How
did you articulate that to us?
No, I'll get it into the review in a second. And she said, "It sounds like a war." I'm like, "Yeah, it is war. This is war. What else can you call it?" I mean, this is for me a grand final on Sunday, and it's perfect. It's on Sunday. It's another grand final. anyone that doesn't think this is that as important, like, I understand to see Sharkies, and I'd love to see Sharkies win, and me sitting on Saturday contemplating and trying to figure out mathematically how much I should have put on Brisbane. Yeah, that would be great. But I truly think this game, in isolation, is exactly what we hoped for, and why I was so happy the draw went out like that. Actually, this was Raiders Penrith. Who cares?
Me.
No, I don't care. You want the All Blacks there.
I want Carrigan.
The All Blacks is on.
I'll pay Carrigan's fine for him to run out there. Anyway,
fine's not good enough apparently.
All right, this is where the torture begins for me personally.
Because Carrigan's on.
And again, those of you on Instagram, go back about 6 weeks after the Dolphins game. I did make a reel saying that these cunts are still on.
The only thing I know this is going to be in the next segment, but the worst thing that can happen, truly, is Melbourne win, but Hughes gets injured. I'll break something.
And then Penrith win the next game.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Melbourne without full strength against Penrith. Like, fuck that. If we're going to get Melbourne Penrith, at least let Hughes be like get out unscathed.
From what I'm saying, if it's Melbourne Penrith and Hughes is playing, Melbourne will be favoured by like 2.5 or something.
Well, are they? These guys are going to be 4.5 in a second. The best team in the comp.
On the Broncos side, obviously, a lot of changes coming out of their bye round that was very well deserved in the thriller in Manila, the way they won, and this is how they're running out there. For me.
He had to. He had to. He's back.
Skipper Adam Reynolds is back to steer the ship into the fucking underneath the ground after missing 5 games with a hamstring injury, while Ezra Mam also returns via the bench from a hamstring injury. The loss of Billy Walters to an ACL injury sees Ben Hunt return to 5'8" after 4 games at hooker and 5 at halfback. Tyson Smoothie takes over at lock for Patrick Carrigan, conveniently when Penrith come to town in a must-win game to play in the grand final. We're running out fucking Smoothie at lock. Incredible. Selwyn Cobbo is listed among the reserves. I hope he ends up listed in the reserves on game day because, come on, man, fucking wake up to
What is he going to put him? Where's he going to put him? Who are you going to drop? Mariner.
He's going to play hooker.
Okay.
No injury concerns for the Penrith Panthers, who run out 1-17 for the millionth finals game in a row. A spread of 2.5 in the favour of Penrith. The mighty Brisbane Broncos, the All Blacks, you could call them, $2.30 in Brisbane at 4 p.m. on a Sunday. What will it take for the Broncos to become victorious and progress at a chance of 2023 redemption in this fixture, mate? And will they hand them the premiership if they win on Sunday?
You know what I'm worried about?
Everything, because it's Penrith?
No. I'm worried about
a send-off?
How many people are going to comment on this reel once I say it? Brisbane will win this game 13 plus.
Fuck you.
I know, and I get the mystique of Penrith, but I feel like the last couple of weeks, including yourself, you said this from day one, they're just not as good as they were last year, and they're not. And why is everyone fucking scared of them now? This is it. Like, did you expect them to lose to Warriors? Did you expect them to lose to that fucking rubbish piece of shit Dogs team? No. So why are you expecting them just to go to Brisbane and beat them as 2-point favourites? Are you cunts fucking on drugs? I mean, I feel like a lot of people have taken, and you said this before about Cronulla, they've taken it and gone, okay, we're going to adjust the Penrith line and not just the Sharks line. We're just going to do the Penrith line because Penrith has been good. Penrith were $1.30 in both matches. What do you expect? Cronulla is the one that should be adjusted. They were $2 at home and they were $2.40 on the road. Oh, well, they ended up closing at $2, but because of Strange. Still. And now the $1.30 team is a $2 favorite, is a $1.62 favorite on the road against the team that no one on earth wanted to bet against before. But now you cunts want to bet against them? Like, you can't, like, it doesn't make, logically, it doesn't make any sense. We sat here and said, okay, Canberra. Everyone fucking killed us. Oi, bro, how can you not take Brisbane? And the same motherfuckers are now taking Penrith. Have you cunts forgotten what this team can do, potentially? I mean, they scored 16 points in 15 minutes. And they had 11 players on the field at one point. What the fuck are we talking about here? What, Carrigan? Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Carrigan's out. Ezra's back. I mean, are you cunts serious? Too honest to me, 2 points is fucking charity. Head-to-head is fucking charity. And I will take 13 plus on Brisbane as well. This team is dead come Sunday afternoon. I think they've been so hyped to the point that this is the same fucking team as before. that they're just not that team. And I don't think the last 2 weeks has changed anything, in my opinion. I just said, and I've been the one that actually been saying Penrith the whole way. I've been saying, okay, Penrith, they're going to beat Warriors, right? It's Warriors. They're awful. They had Tamari Martin coming off the bench. What do you expect? Okay, they played Dogs. You were more, okay, Dogs can do it. I was like, these cunts are an awful team. And that showed in that one game. You think Brisbane's going to let one of these motherfuckers go around? You think Alamone's not going to go thrown into the first row of Suncorp Stadium as soon as he tries to get outside of any of these fucking players? Casey McLean had a fucking gun performance. Let's see him on the best center and one of the best centers in the fucking competition. Let's see if he can tackle Stags. Fuckwit. This is a completely different level. I think what you were saying, this is an upper class for Raiders, or for Sharks. I keep saying Raiders, like they should be there if they come first or something. The fucking idiots. This is an upper class for I said it again. Sharks. This is an upper class for Penrith. Who the fuck are they played? Dogs, where I could have walked through and scored. Warriors. I mean, who are we up against? And particular periods of this Penrith game, if you look at the first 20 minutes of both Penrith game against Dogs and the Penrith game against Warriors, you can see for 20 minutes of the game, they're like warming up to the content. You think Brisbane is not going to come out and just fucking, in that period of time, at least put 12 points on these motherfuckers? Of course they will. If they start slow, they're going to be down in 12 points in 2 seconds before Ezra even comes on the field. Look, Carrigan's out. Would have wished he would be there. But according to the point spread, they probably still would be 1 point underdogs because no matter what, we're just fucking putting money on Penrith. Calm your fucking horses. They beat Warriors and Dogs. Don't overestimate what the fuck they've done. They made Dogs look... See, Dogs could have made... Knights would play better than Dogs that day. They're not fucking the same team. This Brisbane team, if they were as good as they were against Canberra, which they were awful for 65 minutes, but the last 15 minutes, they play like that, they will put that many points on this Penrith team. I have not seen anything from the Penrith defence to stop Reece Walsh, Ezra Mam, and this backline at the peak of their powers to be like, nah, I'm going to fucking fade them at home. Yeah, we're going to fade them at Suncorp. They went to Canberra and did that, but at Suncorp, you're right. They're going to fucking play worse. They could. They could go back to their old shit. And the team that beat Raiders just doesn't show up and we just have Penrith make the grand final again. Sure. But I can't see that. If this Brisbane team is what we've all told, they've turned the corner, they've not quit, they come back. Who are we playing? They're playing the 7th best team in the competition. They finished 7th for a fucking reason. Yeah, okay. Did they beat Brisbane in the regular season?
They raped them.
They raped them.
In the same building, actually.
In the same fucking building. So more on their mind. Everything is on the Brisbane side, yet we get more money on Penrith because, oi, bro, they beat him in the grand final. They beat him in fucking Magic Round. Oi, bro, they're this. Yeah. Not this time. This is the end of Penrith. And it wouldn't be any sweeter for Brisbane to get rid of them after their grand final. And my worry is I'm already thinking grand final wise, depending on who Brisbane play. They would think they've already won the grand final after this game. And they might give them the trophy on the day if they defeat Penrith, which will be a concern for the grand final, but not this week because the Brisbane Broncos will win this game 36-16. They're dead. Mark my words.
Obviously, Chris, this is not exactly the same Broncos team that ran out against Raiders. So
no, it's the same thing.
What do you think of Hunt going to 5'8", Reynolds going to 7, and Ezra coming off the bench?
Doesn't matter.
What do you think?
Do I care?
What do you think?
I mean,
is it an upgrade? Is it the same shit? Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? They have Talangi playing 5'8". Who cares? I mean, okay. Oi, bro, if they put this player... You named all 3 players that are 10 times better than Talangi. Are they not? If they can't find a way themselves to mold Adam Reynolds, who's made grand finals and made teams great, and essentially turn this fucking club around, then literally, what was the point of being Raiders? You might as well just fuck off 2 weeks. You might as well go on to Bali already because Sharks would have whipped your ass last week as well. Like, I can't see if the downside is, okay, they bring Adam Reynolds in and they play worse, then just like this club just doesn't make sense to me. What's the point? Like,
and
just stupid.
Also,
How can you play better with Billy Walters?
What would your game plan for Ezra be? Like, where does he come on? When does he come on?
Well, I think, look,
what the fuck's going on?
I think Pakes needs to take the grunt of the forward pack from Penrith in the first 20 minutes.
I don't know if I want Pakes doing that, but
Well, we're going to have to. Get him the fuck off and get the best Queensland hooker. Sorry, Grant, but fuck me. Great Queensland jersey hooker, Ben Hunt, in there for the rest of the game and move Ezra to 5'8" on the left edge. That was what I'd do. Look, Ben Hunt, Reynolds, Mam, Walsh. If you can't beat McLean, Talangi, Edwards, Cleary, and Mitch Kenny, sure. All right, bro. I'm taking the wrong side as underdogs at home. Whatever. I'm good. Like, this is the best spine that has played this team so far. The last fucking game they've had Egan and fucking Haywood and God knows who played hooker. Sorry, it was Marnie. I forget which one played hooker last week. And Sexton and Galvin and Tracy. We're talking about 4 elite players playing in the spine. Spine on spine. Okay, they have Cleary. You can have that position. What about the rest? Go on, are you taking Edwards over Walsh? Right now, you're going to take Walsh over Edwards? Or you're going to take Edwards over Walsh?
Of course you'd take Walsh, but Edwards is no slouch.
Talangi, is he even close to any of these players?
I would take Talangi over Adam Reynolds, but that's just me.
That's just you. And are you going to take Mitch Kenny or Ben Hunt?
Mate, you can't analyse Penrith like that.
I understand, but they're 2-point favourites. Where are the 2 points coming from?
Cleary.
Just Cleary.
Yep.
Did he even play good last week?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He raped them.
Yeah, it's dogs.
He raped.
Did you watch Alamotti? Did you watch Riankama tackle?
He's literally raped everybody for 5 years.
Listen, I'm not scared of him. And I think the way that they're going to bow out is just getting absolutely destroyed on Sunday. They're not going to bow out, it's going to be close and they're going to lose by 1. No. If they're going to lose, they'll lose properly. Penrith will give up. They'll just be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. We've had enough. Been here too many times. Yeah, you have your flowers this time. We've won 4 premierships. You cunts haven't won one yet. Fuck off. We want to go to Bali. They could be down 20-0 halftime.
And then truly come back and win 22.
No. There's no comeback. They're done after that. I think they'll lose 36-16 full time.
Okay. As I said earlier, seems to me that the world just gives it like every fuck about the Sharks' form, but the bookies are like, we don't give a fuck. Melbourne at 8.5, and it's like the bookies watched last week. They're like, oh fuck, it's Penrith of 2022 again. We'll just put a -3.5 in. Brisbane off a bye. The bye seems to account for 6 points in fucking Melbourne's favour.
Yeah.
They have a bye. How you got to put them 9.5? But Brisbane have a bye playing at Suncorp, and it's like, we'll Ezra and Reynolds are back. All right. We'll go to 4.5.
It's full strength without Carrigan.
It's a quarter of their strength gone smoothie.
No,
where is this depth? Anyway, okay. I've been saying for 12 weeks that Penrith are not the Penrith of old, and they went on their little 9-game winning streak, and they beat Knights 10 times, Souths 10 times, all these rats.
And they played Knights again in the finals.
They played Knights last week again. They played Melbourne without half of their players and lost. They played Raiders, who are apparently frauds, and lost. Then they manufactured a bye, which some people are blowing up about. What?
Who cares?
They can manufacture 20 buys. It doesn't matter. When cunts end up backing down to them, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They played the Warriors in a game that I really was not that impressed with them in, and the scoreline blew out on them. Warriors suck ass anyway, as is, so that's fine. I had some hope for Dogs last week. Not through anything that Dogs have done, because even if Knights are running out there, I would make a case for them. Like, it doesn't actually matter. Dogs, I wouldn't have given them water at halftime or full time the way those cunts played. So, as good as Penrith played, and you can only play what's in front of you, they were impressive. They completed 100%. They made no mistakes, yada, yada, whatever. Is that enough of a justification from these cunts being 17th to winning 9 in a row against garbage opposition, to then losing against good opposition, to then playing 2 dirtbags in the finals and beating both of them? Is that enough to now go put them $1.60 to a rested Brisbane team that have just come off beating the dog piss out of essentially a full-strength Melbourne and coming back down 3 converted tries in 10 minutes to the ladder leading Raiders in their own building with 11 players? I would say no. So automatically, before I say anything else about what I actually think will happen in the game, how the fuck can you take Penrith at $1.60 in this game? That's nuts to me.
That I don't understand.
You know, like that's fucking crazy. What were they, like $1.38 to Warriors?
Yeah,
and now like over by their $1.60 to fucking thing. That's nuts.
Well, they're literally 10 cents, which doesn't make sense to me. They're 10 cents less than Melbourne in the grand final.
They genuinely,
I'm not joking,
would be favourites if Carrigan played as well. You realise that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
That's
doesn't matter if
fucking
he's there or not. They would be.
I thought okay.
We're getting an extra point.
Carrigan's out. They'll put Brisbane at like $2, but it's like no. Every time I refresh the thing,
$2.25 right
no
now.
matter how many fucking Broncos players come back, they keep drifting out more and more. It's fucking incredible.
Well, look, right now, Melbourne are
$2.85 to win the grand final. Penrith are $3.10. So hypothetically, this will be a pick-em come grand final if it's those two, because Penrith's odds are more than Melbourne's by 20 cents.
You know why that is? Because there is a hypothetical chance that Penrith play Sharks, to where Sharks would be like $3.
Again.
But regardless of who Melbourne plays, they're not going to be like $1.30, even if it is Brisbane.
There would be, let's say there will be $1.60 again.
Yeah. That's why the Penrith one's shorter. Because if it's actually Melbourne v Penrith, Melbourne will be favourites. But it's not reflecting in the odds because of that reason. Because of the chance that Penrith play Sharks.
It's still close enough. And you can't put... If Cronulla beat Melbourne, we'll get to the pricing later, which will be ridiculous. If it is Cronulla-Penrith, Cronulla will be like $3.
Yeah, I know.
And these cunts have beaten everyone.
I know, yeah. And they would have just come off beating Melbourne and Melbourne.
It's fucking incredible. Anyway.
Back to Brisbane. I want to believe in them.
Why not? What's to lose at this point? Go win 10 in a row. Who cares? This is it.
To see them presenting Penrith a lot of challenges, I'm going to put one of my feet in the water, but I can't jump in all the way.
Throw the footy around.
And it's for a few reasons. Number one, I feel like I don't really get this Brisbane team that well. Like, I don't think they have an identity, really.
Nah, throw the footy around.
Are they the tough-nosed, hard-nosed defensive side that even if they're down 3 converted tries, they look up at the coach's box and they see Madge and they're like, we'll bleed for this cunt. Let's go out there and fucking grind ourselves back in the game and we'll see what Walsh can do. Are they the give the ball to Walsh and get the fuck out of the way like I've been pleading for them for 18 months to do? Now that fucking inbred boy is back at halfback, leading them out with the captaincy armband, are they going to delude themselves into being like, Casey McLean and fucking Blaze Talangi look pretty vulnerable. Let's attack that side with Ricky and Adam Reynolds, to which point I will strangle them because I know they'll fuck it up. And the fact that Reynolds is back, there's a reason that Walsh looked like a degenerate when Reynolds was there. This cunt gets him no ball whatsoever.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Billy Walters. At least he fucking just gives him the ball, gets the fuck out of the way. And that's been enough for these guys to dismantle Melbourne and beat the dog piss out of Raiders in 10 minutes. Where I know if they run the offense through Walsh, this is not Penrith of old that can hold Brisbane to like... Penrith of old couldn't hold this fucking Brisbane team to less than 20, right?
They got in the grand final, yeah.
And that wasn't even like Casey McLean and fucking Blaze getting raped.
Yeah.
That was Cleary's side with Liam Martin. Origin on Origin, Australia on Australia.
Yeah, that pumped them.
With Ezra and Walsh just walking through them like they were fucking speed humps.
That's the blueprint.
That was the blitzing of the fucking decade until obviously
came back. But
Adam Reynolds, he had one job with 10 minutes to go and he didn't execute it, which is fine. Have they learned from that point now that Madge is at the helm and they have a different identity and they're not just front runners anymore? They've proven multiple times throughout the year against the Sharks, against the Dogs multiple times, against fucking heaps of other top 8 caliber opposition that they can go down big and still fight their way, tooth, scratch, claw, do whatever they need to do to get back into contests and end up winning those games. Yes. Does that give me confidence heading into this game? Yes. But do I really trust Brisbane in a close, tight-knit contest? Not really. I feel like they will need to blitz them and blow them out early.
Yeah.
To where, like, if they put scoreboard pressure on Penrith and it's 10-0, 16-6 or some shit, then you put Penrith on the back foot of these cunts playing backyard footy when they don't have to look across the sideline and look at fucking what was left of Bulldogs. That, yeah, you can throw the footy around complete 100% when you have fucking speed humps in front of you, but if you actually go down 16-6 to Brisbane, do I think this is the old Penrith team that can go a 30-minute, 40-minute stretch in the game without conceding another try, right? Because the grand final side that came back, obviously once Ezra scored his third try of the hat-trick, the points dried up. They didn't fucking score again, right? So that team was consistently holding finals oppositions to 10 points, 12 points, regardless of how good they were. Last year's Melbourne team, who literally put 50 on Roosters in the prelim, the next week against Penrith scored one try, which was a Harry Grant scoot. That was it. Do I see that in the DNA of this side this year? Fuck no. These guys literally gave dogs 24 points. You can't even score. No. So are Brisbane built to exploit the current weaknesses, the few chinks in the armor of these fucking ass wipes for once in this fucking 5-year stretch that they are showing signs of vulnerability? Yes. If they play the way I want them to, which is give it to Walsh and get the fuck out of the way, and literally, I would, in the practice run of like training drills this week, I wouldn't even have Ricky on the field. I would just be like, give it to Staggs every single time until he barges over Casey McLean and puts the fucking dagger into his head.
Yeah. No, run the play they did against Raiders.
Run the play, yeah. Just
that Raiders play, they'll never defend that.
No, sure. All right, you can run him into Leota if you want. I'm good. Literally, every time Adam Reynolds gets the ball, he's either giving it to Walsh, who is then giving it to Staggs, or he's pegging it at Staggs. I know eventually he's going to crash over because this cunt's been possessed in the last 6 weeks. Defensively, do I trust? No. Brisbane, I mean...
No, but who are we playing?
What will get lost in the narrative of the Raiders game was these cunts defended awfully. Actually awfully. They defended well in the Melbourne game, which was encouraging, but again, is it hard to go to Canberra at 4 p.m. when they had Ethan Strange and everyone and defend? I can't really fault them for conceding the Ethan Strange try with 11 players. I can't really fault them for conceding the Kyle Weeks 100-meter try when they had no players either. So outside of that, did they defend okay? Yeah, Hudson scored the grubber garbage. Same with Seb Chris. So if anything, maybe they actually did defend okay on their goal line, and we're not giving them enough credit for that. And they actually have defended against Melbourne and Canberra goal line wise, not so bad in the last couple of weeks. Do I think there'll be the speed humps that Bulldogs were, where Penrith can just shift it out to Alamoti, walk through? Absolutely not. Do I feel like Brisbane's a little bit vulnerable through the middle of the park? I do, especially with this weird rotation of Pakes and then Ben Hunt, who was going to start at 5'8", is then going to go play hooker randomly and bring Ezra on, and Smoothie's playing lock, and they don't really have any competent lock sort of players to come on for him. Like, who comes on for him?
Listen.
Willison? Don't get me started on him.
I know. I already established that. I don't think it's going to matter. Like, I think Penrith think this is going to be... And Penrith, like, they're hard to fool. And last week, our Dogs fooled them with Crichton being on the reserve.
The mind games.
This is not... I think Penrith perceive that every team eventually adapts to their game plan of let's tire each other out until one of us gives up. And often it works, and it's worked 4 years in a row. I don't think this Brisbane team at any point has that ever worked for them throughout this whole season.
That they'll play like that?
They'll play like that. So if they go out there and play like that, then we're literally just looking at fucking these cunts winning 10 in a row. Because everyone just adapts to their game. But if Brisbane do what I'm expecting them to do and throw the fucking footy around, fuck it. If you guys are going to make errors, make errors. I don't care. Peg the ball at Staggs 5,000 times, and let's see if McLean can stay in front of him, the fucking waste bag. Because, in my opinion, that's how you beat Penrith. That's the only way. You cannot beat Penrith by playing like Penrith. I've said it since the pinnacle 3 years ago. You cannot beat them like that. The only way you beat them is throw the footy around. And 4 p.m. at Suncorp in the sun, that's all you need to do. So I could play lock, you could play fucking center. It doesn't matter. Because the way you beat them is just fucking throw the footy around. And all of a sudden they'll go back 10 minutes into the game and they're down 12-0. And they're like, how the fuck did that happen? Well, who are we playing? Because, oi, bro, they just gave it to Staggs and he offloaded on the inside and Walsh was there and we don't have enough speed to keep up with Mariner and we just conceded again. Oh, Ezra did. Oh, we can't stop the speed. We can't stop it. It's impossible. Can't teach speed. Like, if they break through, I can see 3 Brisbane players being in front of anyone before fucking Cleary gets there. You can't teach speed. So I think the way Brisbane beat this game is not in the trenches. So Carrigan not being there doesn't mean anything to me. Like I said, Wilson can start. I would put Wilson on the edge instead of Ricky if you're going to fucking run the play. Good luck to McLean and Talangi trying to fucking tackle him, because we've seen him play on the edge before and he's a wrecking ball. As much as he's an idiot,
Wilson.
He's a wrecking ball and he'll run over both of them. But I don't think that's the game plan. Get it to your fucking outside backs. Let them go one-on-one, because to be honest, both sides can really have a field day on this team. I don't think Penrith has shown enough for me that Alamotti and McLean and fucking Tungo and are going to be so fucking good that they're going to stop this backline, because the Brisbane backline can have a field day if they want to, especially the right side with Staggs and Mariner. If Walsh just hits one of those passes, they're going straight through. So I think just throw the footy around. It doesn't matter. They're not there. I'm happy they're not there because you get an extra point. Otherwise, we're only getting Brisbane +1. If not, at a pick, we're getting 2 points for it. And that's not the way Brisbane win anyway. So I'll happily take the Brisbane team and live by whatever happens. If Penrith are going to win 20 in a row, then go for it. If everyone's going to just play like these fucking idiots, then of course you're going to lose to them. The only way you beat them is play like morons.
Honestly, the best chance we had of evicting these cunts from the competition was them going to Brisbane off a Brisbane bye.
Yeah, what else do you want?
Like, if they're going to win that game as well, then like you said, they're going to win 20 premierships.
Yeah, everyone's just going to... And the way Brisbane are going to lose is they play like Penrith. They don't throw the footy around. They play finals footy. They're conservative. And it really pissed me off. But to be honest, they didn't do that against Raiders either. They just made errors for 65 minutes. And then they just let Raiders score at their end. And they couldn't fucking defend. Like, to be honest, from what they've shown, the whole 80 minutes of the Raiders game, they threw the footy around.
Yeah, no.
They pegged it at Walsh and threw it. They don't give a fuck.
They don't care, yeah.
They don't care. So do it again. You can beat this team if you do that.
They've implemented match footy not in like a tactical way, but more of a, we'll just try a bit harder because we like him way.
Yeah, exactly. On defense. That's all they do. The essence of Brisbane is still there. And that essence is how you beat Penrith. Because it showed you can beat them.
They are the side that's come the closest since
they're the
Penrith's last tasted defeat. So, you know what? I guess the dilemma I'm in is traditionally and historically, especially in the last couple of years,
beat everyone.
In a finals high leverage game like this, is it more worth taking the side that is battle hardened and plays the right way and builds fatigue and fucking methodically breaks down the opposition versus, this team is so talented and they can score points at will? 9 times out of 10, the side that is more disciplined and all that garbage, they end up winning.
Yeah.
But in this case,
lose.
I just hope Brisbane win. I don't
It doesn't
care.
matter.
Look, it should be a pick 'em. You're getting points with the home side.
I disagree. Brisbane should be -1. Who are we playing? Why the fuck are they favourites in Brisbane?
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is insane.
You know what's fucked? This is actually nuts. Brisbane are actually shorter favourites at Canberra.
Yeah, I know.
Now that they're at home, it's like without fucking thingy as well, Carrigan.
What is fascinating?
Sorry, with Reynolds and Mann.
I'll tell you.
It's fucking nuts.
I'll tell you. This is what's infuriating to me. If this was Dogs, in a hypothetical world they existed and they were still in the finals, this would be like -12. Without Critter.
Against who?
Against Brisbane Dogs. If Dogs had won last week.
Yeah, I know.
There would be like 12.5 Dogs.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like,
that's how much Penrith
are getting sat on for last
How
week.
much they're getting sat on for one game where Critter didn't play.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was there or not, that team was just beyond. But if Dogs... even if this was... You know what's... I actually don't know. It might have been a pick anyway. If this was like the 8-6 game, Dogs Penrith, maybe this would have been a pick.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's because they won for 60-0.
I know they won 60-0, but we explained why they won. They played like Knights. Don't worry about it. Brisbane
I wish Knights played. If Brisbane are to win...
Thank God.
You're going to somewhat need Adam Reynolds to have an equivalent level kick. Like the best kicking game that he's had in years to match Cleary. We're going to need Walsh to play as good as he did against Raiders.
I actually don't think so.
I think we do.
Nah. They're not that good. I'm not scared of Penrith.
Think about this with me. It's not that Penrith are that good. It's that
These guys are playing like idiots.
when Walsh doesn't play gun, Brisbane are actually
no,
shit
of
side.
course. He makes all the points, but
No. He's everything for these cunts.
Anyway.
I swear on my mum's life, if they swapped Walsh and let's say they put Cobo there in this game, I would lay like 9.5 with Penrith.
you know what?
I know they're going to play like
I'll
garbage.
give 2 predictions. This is the best same gamer you could do because I can picture it. I can picture it happening. Brisbane 13 plus into Ben Hunt, anytime try scorer with a quick show and go from dummy half to pull the pants down of Penrith and knock them out completely as a final try, because as much as he's done it throughout so many fucking games in Origin, he's going to do it for the state of Queensland to knock out this huge team, and then Brisbane will go lose the grand final because they think they've already won it. And that is my prediction, because these guys are idiots at the end of the day. And I will do a complete 180. So I'm going to tell you guys in advance, if Brisbane win 13 plus, I will quote right now they'll lose the grand final.
Well, they might not rock up on game day. I think the season's done.
They'll be bummed. They'll be like, yeah, fuck it. We don't give a fuck. Because they'll play the best throw-around footy ever, probably in Melbourne,
Look,
and they don't give a fuck.
I'm scarred.
I'm not.
But at the end of the day, I have said since
They're not that good.
June that these cunts are not that good, and I didn't fucking take that far to back down to them now. So Brisbane, you're going to win this game. You're going to go to the grand final, and it won't quite be the same victorious taste that you cunts could have had in 2023, but it will be a new chapter in your franchise that, you know what, we went away, we fucking missed the 8 the following year, we changed regimes, and without Carrigan, we put a fucking Zord into this piece of garbage of a club and finally knocked these motherfuckers out after 6 years. And in the end, the toilet water will prevail over these scumbags, and the Brisbane Broncos will probably get raped by Melbourne in the grand final. That is my prediction. But just them getting there will be enough for me to see the backside of Penrith, and I really hope that this is the week that we finally get some joy betting against these pricks in the finals. I would genuinely give up my left kidney for that. Walsh, I need a 10 out of 10 game for you. Stags, I need a 10 out of 10 game for you. Genuinely, I think Haas is going to have to play his best game of all time, running out with Smoothie and co. Like, that's... I need him to, like, rip Moses Leota's fucking head off.
They'll be down 20 points at halftime.
All right, can't wake up to yourself.
No, I'm telling you. It's a blitz. It's an ambush of the century.
I hope so. It'd be
People
great.
will just be on Penrith being like, what the
Who the fuck are we
is
playing?
happening?
Yeah, I hope so.
But then they'll see Brisbane play next week and they'll be like, we lost to these retards.
Yeah, anyway. I'll sacrifice next week.
Yeah,
Anything can happen. They can lose to Sharks. That's fine
they could
with
lose
me.
to anyone.
As long as they beat these pricks.
Yeah.
That's what all I can hope
Best
for.
Best shot. You can't have anything else.
But-
I don't want to see their faces in the grand final. I'm good.
At the end of the day, I feel like you're extremely confident in Brisbane. I'm extremely confident in Melbourne, but we're extremely confident in 2 good games of footy being played this round. Win and go into the big dance, lose and go home and watch it on your couch next Sunday, just like me and you are. That's what's at stake for these 4 teams, and we are fucking excited for it. Unfortunately, that signals that there is not too many more podcasts with you, my friend,
2.
which I have enjoyed a lot throughout this season.
3.
I am eager in anticipation of this season review. I won't lie to you. It's going to be fucking goat. So
Are
make
we going to
sure.
start from the bottom or the top? And do we start with Raiders?
No. We start with
The
whoever
winners.
wins the grand final.
Okay. Oh.
Because we have to have people sit around for 3.5 hours before we get to Knights.
Well, Knights is owned like...
Well, I might do Dogs last.
Nah.
Because I can...
Can I do Titans last? They deserve it.
No.
Oh.
They won. They beat Tigers. Anyway, a like, a comment, and a subscribe would be much
What's your 2
appreciated
takeaways?
here on the...
Your first try scorer.
Fuck off.
Okay. 2 takeaways.
My 2 big takeaways. Can Hughes get through this game unscathed, and will he be a liability on the field? And what iteration of the Sharkies are we going to get? The brand new one that can fucking defend for an hour and go down the other end and score 2 tries before halftime and lead somehow? Or the old Sharkies that go out there and give up because they're like, fuck, it's Melbourne. We can beat everyone except them.
Fair.
Can Reece Walsh... Genuinely, if Reece Walsh wins this game, he might have an argument of the most possessed player in this competition.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
100%.
If he knocks Penrith out with Adam Reynolds playing like dirt for the 50th game, I will actually come on this podcast and bow down to him and drink the
Okay,
toilet
so-
water on this podcast. And on the Penrith side, just fuck off. How about yourself, champion?
It's pretty simple. Cronulla, there's no pressure really, even though there's a bit of pressure from me for my Cronulla. But I'd love to see you guys win. You've had a great final series. Melbourne, look, if you play your best, I'd love to see it, and I'd just love to see it twice. And truly, from the start of the season, we said engrave the trophy and get it done with the Melbourne Storm. And we're not wrong. They are the best team. Are they playing their best players at the right time? We'll see how Hughes goes on Friday. On the second game, Brisbane, if you cunts are that good, this is a fucking breeze. They're nowhere near this Canberra team. And they've played 2 games while you guys have had all this rest. They had to go all the way from... They were literally still probably in New Zealand while you cunts were playing. Had to fly all the way over and now play dogs and now fly to Brisbane. And you motherfuckers are going to go back down to them, sure. And Penrith, you're a champion side, and I'm really not going to take away anything if you go to Brisbane and lose, because there's been many teams in better spots that have lost in Brisbane for no reason. This is a terrible spot. But if your champions are champions, then you'll probably win this, and will be the last person to bet against you cunts in the grand final. Let's see if you obviously play my fucking Sharks, because fuck off. And yeah, that's a wrap up.
Enjoy, guys. Peace out.